everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Simplified. I haven't uploaded a video for a while, pretty sorry, so today we're going to start with a bit of a market update. However, before I get into the market update, I need to bring your attention to what's happening in Bangladesh right now. If you'd like to read up about it, this link is in the description, but for the rest of you all, just want a quick summary. Students were killed in a bus collision a few days ago in the capital city of Bangladesh called Dhaka. This happened because of very unsafe driving in the city, and students went out en masse to try and make sure that people on the roads had valid driver licenses and identification for operating a vehicle. This was a peaceful protest, by the way, and then counter-protesters came in, turned it violent, and there are some really horrific images all over the internet. I haven't attached any over here, but you can always check them out. There will be links in the description for that as well. People were peacefully protesting. It turned violent because of pro-government actors in the crowds. That was the first issue that I have with this. The second one is the internet is being throttled in Dhaka, so people cannot spread information about what's actually happening there. There are loads of reports about people going missing. This is a direct assault on democracy and democratic values. Any viewers in Bangladesh watching this, please let us know if there's anything that we can do. If you can send funds to help with the legal fees or anything like that with the protesters, please let us know. I will of course provide updates as I get them, but this is not something that I have expertise in. All I can do is direct you to sources that I believe are reliable. So if anyone has reliable sources of information, please send them this way. Let's get into the market update then. I will be traveling for the next week, folks. So if there's anything that you'd like me to check out, do send messages my way. I'm going to be working on videos for ARK, some more Cardano videos, as well as a look at the entire Stellar ecosystem. So I do have my work cut out a little bit there, but if there's anything else that has really caught your eye, that you really want me to talk to you about, to explain, or anything that you believe needs another look, do let me know. I'll be glad to do that for you. But for now, let's have a look at the market. We are just over 250 billion US dollars. This is a significant decrease from 3 or 4 days ago. Don't be alarmed though, because we have had plenty of good news. I will get to that a little bit later in this video. But we do have some great positive price action from Holochain and MOAC, mother of all chains. If any of these projects interest you, do drop me a message and I'll be glad to look at them. The day's large losers. Not too much in terms of alarming negative price action, but the last few days have not exactly been great for us, so it is a bit of a worry. However, like I said, there is some positive news to come out, but first we have to check out some memes, folks. Looks like the people at Fiat are finally getting a little bit tired of all the crypto hate. Sorry Fiat, just an unfortunate name. However, it's just a Photoshop, so don't take things you see on the internet too seriously, people. But there is something that you should take very seriously, and we're going to get to that right now. And that is a Starbucks partnership with Microsoft. A major criticism of cryptocurrency and blockchain tech is that you can't spend this stuff anywhere. That is, of course, a bit of an exaggeration. You can't spend this stuff in lots of different places. But now that we have a flagship company that is going to accept cryptocurrencies, this is only going to benefit the wider community. The organization that will be handling these payments, this stuff should be in motion by November 2018. So I shall follow this story fairly closely and see how this is actually going to develop. The great thing about the story though is that it leads on to even greater stories of adoption. So this is a way for people to diversify their investments, put money into a whole bunch of different companies for the sake of their retirement funds. Of course, if people in their 20s and 30s are already looking for their retirement, investing in cryptocurrency right now when it's in its infancy could give some fantastic returns in the future. However, with an ETF, you don't actually hold the cryptocurrency. There's a hedge fund that has bought up a whole bunch of cryptocurrency and they make the investments. So you get a token of their investment in the form of a share. So while this isn't really going to help adoption and make people use it more, what it will most definitely do is make an increase in price more desirable for a larger number of people. This leads on to a great article I've read about what the SEC would require in order to pass a Bitcoin ETF. So this is a longer article that has lots of very pertinent points in here. Link in the description, like for all my sources, but I highly recommend that you read this. I put a few asterisks next to this link, so you can definitely check it out once you're done watching this video. And if you don't really understand what ETFs are all about, this is a great explainer from Investopedia. Even if you do understand this, I highly recommend you check it out because it's very useful to keep refreshing your knowledge, especially on something that you've seen a long time ago. Because of course, having very clear definitions about what things are will really help you understand how this fits into the wider economy. Of course, ETFs are a bit of a mainstay in institutional investing. And while this has all the pros of potentially affecting the price in a very positive way, there are a few negatives involved with this as well. And this is the bad banking practice epidemic that plagues Wall Street. So we all know that the financial crisis was most definitely exacerbated by bad actors on Wall Street. While the rest of the world was burning, there were certain individuals who walked away with massive bonuses. And there is always a fear that this sort of mentality could leak into cryptocurrency with the institutional investors. Currently, the beauty of cryptocurrency is that anyone can get involved. You only need a tiny bit of money and some shrewd thinking, and you can make a lot off this market. However, when it comes to the big bucks and the large scale market manipulation, this could be a real problem. I shall attach this link as well because this has a lot of information about how Wall Street views Bitcoin and how Wall Street could view Bitcoin in the near future, especially as talks about an ETF accelerate. All this good news, however, is not restricted just to these futures and investments market. You can also spend cryptocurrency almost wherever you like. So Coinbase has a new plugin, and this plugin is linked to a company called WooCommerce. What this plugin will do is enable you to spend Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and potentially in the future a few more, especially as Coinbase adds a few more currencies onto their platform. You will be able to transact freely with these currencies. Next up, let's have a look at how we can make the blockchain and blockchain-based services more accessible by mobile phone. And this is courtesy of the great Charlie Lee, founder of Litecoin, who is now working with HTC as an advisor to build a secure blockchain phone. This, of course, is not the first attempt at a blockchain phone. Siren Labs has their Finny phone that costs about $1,000 that is targeted for secure blockchain-based transactions with 3-factor verification. But now we have finally a more consumer-facing company like HTC working on making this a reality as well. The more innovators and large companies that we have looking at this problem, the quicker we're going to have a usable product. So, link in the description. Do check this out. Let me know what you think about a phone. Would you buy one? Firstly, do you have enough cryptocurrency to demand a very expensive, highly secure phone? If you want to look at the Finny phone as well, here's the link in the description. However, there is a much bigger problem when it comes to blockchains and phones. People say that the most vulnerable part of the Android ecosystem is the Android part of it, because you can have all these secure things, but then if the operating system itself has security flaws, then hackers can really exploit your device, steal your crypto, and you'll be none the wiser. However, there's a bit of a debate on here between Samsung and security experts. One of the experts being quoted here is Jameson Lopp, a very frequent guest on the Kaiser Report, Bitcoin maximalist, and he's very deeply entrenched in the cryptocurrency space. But I highly recommend you check this article out, because I can summarize it, but that won't really do it any justice, because there's lots of technical terms, and if you're like me who isn't a programmer, you probably want to click on all these links to actually read up a little bit more about what they're actually saying. So, link in the description. do check this out. It'll be totally worth your while. In further adoption news, we have the NFL Players Association investing in a blockchain startup, and the project uses aspects of an existing property called Sportscaster in order to let fans transact in tokens, tip their favorite sports stars and all that, and commentate on games. Commentator? Comment on games. So this is also going to work as a bit of a loyalty program, and the best thing about this is the sports market's actually pretty untapped in this, especially the larger, wider area of sports. Not esports, but actual sports. So if we have a lot of people who might not know too much about cryptocurrency actually transacting with it every day, this enables people to use a technology without actually understanding how it works, and this will be vital for adoption. You don't need to know about blockchains and everything. As long as it works, that means you're going to use it. And this is exactly how we're going to get a wider audience to actually care about cryptocurrency. You can talk to people about the failing financial system all you want, but people might not think that applies to them, even though it most definitely does apply to them. So this could be the start of something big. However, we are in a bear market, and none of this fantastic news is actually registering when it comes to price action. Next up, we have Wikipedia, and there had been murmurs about Wikipedia launching an ICO. Turns out that these murmurs were just that. Founder Jimmy Wales has zero interest in an ICO, but he does acknowledge later on in this article that cryptocurrency is important, and he's quite grateful for people donating in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. In India related news, police have busted a Ripple future cryptocurrency scam. This article is written by Neer Varshney. She was on the channel not long ago. Highly recommend you check out this article, and it just shows how much we need proper education about cryptocurrency to the masses. Everyone is still blinded by the dollar signs. They don't actually look into what they're investing in. And this is actually 101 of investing. If you don't know what it is, don't put your money there. It's as simple as that. And 1,800 people obviously took a jump before they actually look down and see what they're actually investing in. In my opinion, I think they had it coming. But obviously the government wants to have their consumer protection laws in place to make sure that people cannot invest in these fraudulent projects. Fraudulent activity and bad advertising is nothing new. Do check out my interview with Neer. I uploaded it a couple of weeks ago. Do check this out. There's a lot of insight from a journalist who has her finger on the pulse about everything that's going on in India's cryptocurrency space. I highly recommend you check that out. And in my last topic for today's video, this is a bit of a long form read. This is all about the economics behind security token offerings. Pretty sure you've been following the news about people rejoicing when they say Ethereum is not a security or Bitcoin is not a security. The question in your head is, what is a security and why should I care? Well, over here we have a very in-depth op-ed article. This is another one that I highly recommend you check it out. I should put asterisks next to all my really key articles that you must check out after you watch this video, because this will just help you understand what the deal is when it comes to all these tokens. Knowledge is power, folks, especially in this space where there's scams and misinformation absolutely everywhere. I'm not telling you to believe everything you read from these articles that I'm posting. I just think they're offering a very interesting perspective about things that we may or may not take for granted. So folks, that's all from me. This is Marv from Crypto Simplified signing off. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love it if you give me a like. If you didn't like it, please leave some constructive criticism in the comments. If you have any suggestions for content that you'd like me to check out, any projects that caught your eye, any ICOs that you think are great or absolute scams, I'd love to hear it. Drop me a line on Twitter, comment on the videos. I'm all ears, folks. I shall work on a few videos while I'm away, and you shall have plenty of content to have a look at when I'm back. So you folks take care. We should catch up very soon. Later.
didn't come too soon. My